Let's listen to the overview of the poem The Owl and the Chimpanzee by Joe Camacho. Joe Camacho. Joe Camacho, the author of the poem The Owl and the Chimpanzee, is a clinical hypnotherapist in England. She is a qualified lecturer in hypnotherapy training and helps clients develop healthier mindsets. Her therapeutic approach focuses on solution focused hypnotherapy, a practice that emphasizes the present and future rather than delving into the past. She specializes in helping individuals with anxiety and stress related disorders. About the poem The Owl and the Chimpanzee. The poem Owl and the Chimpanzee contains 24 lines. It is written in rhyming couplets and uses simple language and metaphors. The poem Owl and the Chimpanzee beautifully illustrates the internal conflict between two parts of a human mind. Let me explain the symbolic representation of the owl and the chimp in order to understand the poem better. The owl symbolizes the rational, logical, and wise part of the mind. It represents wisdom, calm, measured thinking, and decision making. The chimp, on the other hand, symbolizes the emotional, impulsive part of the mind. It reflects quick, reactive emotions like fear, anger, or anxiety. Thus, the poem skillfully mirrors the struggles people face when trying to manage their emotions and anxiety effectively. Let me read the poem, lines 1 to 6. The owl and the chimpanzee went to sea in a beautiful boat called the mind. The owl was sensible, clever, and smart. The chimp was a little behind. The owl made decisions based on fact and knew where to steer its ship. Let me explain the first 6 lines of the poem. The boat in the poem represents the human mind navigating through the sea of life. The owl symbolizes wisdom, calmness, and rational thought, while the chimpanzee represents fear and raw emotion. Together, they illustrate the duality of the human psyche. The owl is portrayed as the rational and composed part of the mind, capable of making sound decisions. The chimp, however, is reactive and emotional, often struggling to keep up with the calm reasoning of the owl. The owl embodies logic and clear thinking, guiding the ship of the mind safely through life. This suggests that rationality provides direction and stability. Lines 7 to 12. The chimp reacted a little too fast, and often the boat would tip. The waves would come and crash abroad. The chimp would start to cry. Large tears would roll right down his face, afraid that he would die. Thus, the chimp reacts impulsively to situations, causing the boat to unsteady. This symbolizes how quick, unchecked emotional reactions can destabilize our mind, leading to anxiety or chaos. The waves in the poem represent challenges or difficult emotions. The chimp's crying shows how we often feel overwhelmed by these emotions, turning small problems into big fears. It also reflects vulnerability and how we sometimes exaggerate our worries, thinking the worst will happen. Lines 13 to 16. The chimp and the owl would wrestle at night when the world was quiet and still. The chimp would jump up and rock the boat, and the boat would start to fill. In these lines of the poem, night symbolizes moments of quiet reflection when inner struggles become stronger. These lines show how emotions and reason fight for control when we are alone with our thoughts. The chimp's disruptive actions cause emotional turmoil, symbolized by the boats filling with water. It represents how unchecked emotions create chaos in the mind, leading to stress or overwhelming feelings. Lines 17 to 24. Then the owl stepped in and grabbed a pail and started to empty it out. And the chimp would start to get quite cross and would often scream and shout. The battle continued night after night until the chimp started to see that if it let the owl take control, a more peaceful night it would be. The pail in the poem is a symbol of coping strategies or logical solutions. A pail is a bucket, typically with a hand, used for carrying liquids or other substances. Here, it helps clear away emotional overwhelm, restoring mental balance. The chimp resists the owl's efforts, showing that emotions can sometimes be hard to control. This demonstrates the difficulty of managing our feelings when we are angry and upset. The ongoing conflict between the owl and the chimp shows the long process of learning how to manage emotions. The chimp's gradual understanding symbolizes emotional growth as it begins to see the benefits of calm and reason. Thus, the end of the poem shows that by allowing reason to take control, the chimp or the emotions can find peace. It suggests that balancing logic with emotion can lead to a calmer, more stable mind. What do you understand from the poem The Owl and the Chimpanzee? The poem represents the conflict between emotions and rational thinking. Internal conflicts are normal among human beings. If we can learn to control our primitive brain more often and listen to our inner brain, we will enjoy a more peaceful journey. The poem explains how the rational mind and emotional mind coexist harmoniously to achieve mental well-being. The poem thus explores that the owl's rational approach can guide us toward emotional regulation and mental balance, showing that self-control and thoughtful responses lead to peace and stability in life. Thus, the poem aligns with psychological ideas of cognitive regulation and emotional intelligence, where managing both aspects lead to better mental health. Thank you.